Andrea, thank you so much for that introduction. And I'm happy to be here once again. I'm actually I started at WSU 21 years ago as a recruiter for WSU. And so I've been helping people to go to college, stay in college, and develop and transition into the workforce and or grad school. So really enjoying what I'm doing, even more so these days. But I'll go ahead and hop right to it. Again, hello to Aaron. Looks like Peter's come in. And, feel free to ask me questions. I don't want you to feel like I'm going to lecture for 75 minutes straight and you don't get to ask me questions ever. Just go ahead and jump in as needed. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And Andrea, if I might get a little bit annoying because sometimes I can't see everyone's face when I share my screen. So I just want to make sure you all can see. You know, anyone that's enrolled at WSU statewide has a Handshake account, meaning if you haven't used it, you just need to go to the main page and log in and activate it, basically. But anyone that has a WSU email address literally has a Handshake access. So what I want to do is show you. So this is my student view. I have an administrative access and I have a student view. So I made my own little mock student page so I could come in and see what students see. So when you log in to, let me get this out of the way here. When you log in to Handshake, you're basically going to come in and see this screen. And I want to really spend some time here right off the bat because there's things going on here that you need to know about. This is like a dashboard. So I want to talk about this area here, these boxes, and then there's stuff below it that you need to treat this as Handshake as your personal assistant. So I'm going to stall here while I get all that erased here. Just a second. All right. So when you come in, these boxes here, great information, whether you click on jobs, employers, community, career paths, events, you really just have to get in here and start looking at all that they have to offer. But if you click on jobs, let me just start there for a second. This takes you to a component where you actually can look for jobs. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later. But as you can see over here in the top left corner, there's over 12,000 jobs that are listed in Handshake just for college students. So some people will ask me, what's the difference between, James, should I be using LinkedIn or Handshake? Personally, I say both, or Indeed. I'll say all three. Wherever employers are, you need to be in that space, right? But the one thing that's unique about Handshake is that when employers list internships and jobs in Handshake, they are looking for college students, right? When you go through Indeed or LinkedIn, no knock against them because I love their platforms, but you're competing with the whole world, people with 10 years, 15 years experience. So these are usually entry-level positions that are listed in Handshake, usually entry-level, or sometimes they'll list things for grad student level, or, you can apply any experience you had even before you were in college. But for the most part, they're targeting the college population. Okay. So we'll come back to the jobs here in a second. I just wanted to let you see where this leads. You can click on employers and you kind of see that this is an area where you can get more information about employers when you just want to know their backgrounds, but you're going to see how we're going to use these tools later. But I want you to make me a promise that you're going to get in here and start clicking on these boxes and see where they go. There's a lot of good stuff in here. I'm going to click on career paths. And so when people need help clarifying, okay, I'm majoring in chemistry, maybe I do want to be a chemist, research, let me get more information on that. And there's different occupations here. And again, it's just a lot of resources that are here in these boxes. So I don't want to dwell on this too long. This is just something that you got to use to your benefit. When you click on events, this is a way that you can come in and you can find out. Now, most of the presenters, employers that are going to be talking about internships or their job openings or conducting interviews, they're going to the employers will put the events in Handshake, and then you can click on events and you can see what's happening over the next couple of days, over the next, couple of weeks. You can see exactly what employers are coming in. This is just one way to do it, right? Um, you can see whatever workshops are being conducted. Um, so again, this is really to your benefit. It's just another resource, another box that you can click. And then I'm gonna just jump over here to Career Center and click on that. This is a great resource because then if you need to talk to somebody, right, you can come over here to the staff list, and there's a whole lot of career coaches that you can use, including, I haven't talked to Chris Miller in a little while, but hello to Chris Miller. If you ever listen to this video, I'm still looking forward to meeting you one day. But a lot of people listed here that do career coaching, and you can even schedule a one-on-one appointment using Handshake to meet with a career coach for a variety of reasons. Trust me, whether you know what you want to do or not, or you know exactly what career field you want to go into or not, there's someone in here that can meet your needs right where you are. So, and if you have trouble finding anybody, you can always click on James Bledsoe, and I'll pick it up from wherever we need to start from. But again, so I want you to know these boxes lead to great information, but then as you scroll down, when you log in, I guess you could say the artificial intelligence in Handshake, it's bringing me information that pertains to my interests. So I'm in education, and so it's bringing me the job roles that it thinks I want to hear about. So even if I don't use the search tool that we're going to look at here in a minute to look for jobs, Handshake will bring things to your attention that fit your focus, right? And so if I clicked on more here, and there's just a list of education jobs and internships all over the place, all right? And so you can search those and learn more about those jobs. Here are on-campus jobs. Some students use that. It'll even alert you to jobs that are expiring pretty soon, meaning when a Handshake job is listed, it'll stay listed until the closing date, and then it disappears. So anything you see, you know that they are actively taking applications for it, okay? Again, you can open that up if you click, see more jobs, more things will come up. But again, K-12 education, again, that pertains to me. It's bringing me all this information, more education jobs, and I'm interested in government jobs as well. So it's bringing me the government jobs, and I'm interested in higher education opportunities as well. So that's how I set this up. Now, you may be wondering, okay, so from here, how did you set this up, James? Why is it really focusing in on just you? Well, what has to happen is we have to get used to using the profile. And so you have to set up your profile. I think I set this up in about 30 minutes. Honestly, I just, loaded a picture up there. I have a little statement here. Now, this statement, I've used it for several different things, but this is a chance for you to write something about what you're doing, where you want to go, what you're pursuing in terms of an internship or maybe a part-time or full-time job. But keep in mind, when you're ready, you'll be able to let employers see your profile, right? So you want to craft a message that speaks to the employers who have the opportunities that you're looking for, right? And sometimes you got to work with a career coach so that you can craft the statement right there. But then it allows you to also to list all your education. You can see as we're going down there, and stop me if I'm going too fast. You can list your work experience. Again, these are all things that when you're ready, employers will see that. Your skill sets. Now, I kind of got quite a few things checked here, but sometimes, you got to list all things that apply to you that help define what your knowledge, skills, and abilities are, right? I've listed some organizations, a lot. Again, this is a mock site, so I don't even know if I put stuff in here that was true. Oh yeah, George Clinton and the P-Funk All-Stars. I wish I did a project with that musician, but I haven't. But just to use that as an example, you can also get your resume on here, so an employer will see your resume. And so this is a resume template I hope you all can see the template there, the resume example. And this is, again, this is not my academic background. This is just something I use to show maybe someone that's majoring in a natural science, how they might put their resume together. And that's a whole nother workshop. But again, if you can list your or attach your resume and the employer will see it. Now, I'm going to go back to my normal view because I can show you view profile as employer. So this is based on what I loaded in here. This is how the employer will see my, I guess you could say my student mock profile when I'm ready to let them see it. So they've got the get to know me statement, which on your end will say, here's my journey. There's my statement right there. It's, like I said, it's got my education and all that, my experiences, my organizations, leadership experience, any relevant coursework that I think is important, and then projects can be listed there as well. You see my resume is over here to the right. And so everything that an employer needs to see comes up. Now, an employer, take it, this is just one example. Somebody that works for, I don't know, some type of technology company, and they want, I'm the recruiter and my boss says, hey, James, we need 100 interns, and we want you to comb the country looking for 100 interns that fit our requirements for the internships that we give. And I'm going to say 100. Wow. Okay. I don't necessarily want to visit all these college campuses. I'll go into Handshake. I'll start filtering, using the filter, and I'll look for students who have finished their profile. And I'll look for students that kind of are looking for the type of internship that I have based on what you load up, your resume, your personal statement. And then I may send out 300 invitations to students to get in touch with me because I have an internship. So if I've got 100 internship spots to fill, I'm probably going to have to contact 200 or 300 people. So sometimes you need to follow up quickly and know that recruiters or employer representatives can interact with you when you give them a chance to see your information. Okay. So again, let me go back to as a user. So as a student user, I have my profile blocked right now. It is hidden from employers because let's just say I'm not finished yet. I haven't really put on here what I want to be shown. But when I'm ready, I can go ahead and click so that it's live and the employers can see it. Okay. Now, what's also important about your profile, you got to come in here to your picture over here in the top right, and you've got to know that you've got all these things to work with. So what I say is the reason that when I go back over here, the reason that Handshake is bringing me all this information that fits me is because I went in here and clicked on career interests. And now I filled out all this information based on what I'm looking for. So most of the things Handshake is bringing to me are full-time jobs because that's what I clicked. I could have easily put internships on there, and I did. How can Handshake help me? I said, I want a job. Maybe I'll put on here, I want an internship, and I want to build my network. What options are you considering after graduation? Working. Maybe somebody might say graduate school. But again, I'm going to say working. What job roles are you interested in? You can put, let's go. I can put, let's see. Let's say if I wanted to be an early childhood school teacher. I've already put some other things, guidance counselor, director of student services. But again, this is all data that Handshake will use to bring opportunities right in front of you every single day, every single week, every single month. This gets updated every single day with new opportunities. So you just don't want to check it once a semester. That would be not good. So many opportunities would go by and you never knew about them. You'd never know about them. What are your interests? Where are you interested in living? Well, everyone knows that one day I'm going to talk my wife into letting me live in New Orleans, but you could put that in there too. Now, if you don't list anything, it'll just bring you all opportunities regardless of where they are, right? So You want to be careful with what you put in there, unless you are definitely, you know, completely focused on, you know what, I want to stay in Washington or I want to be in California. That's different. You want to go ahead and list that. What industries interest you? Now, I checked off just government, and I checked off hired, well, all of the education boxes. And you see that it's bringing me those types of jobs back on that dashboard page. But I would recommend, because I'm at a different point in my career. I've been working for almost 30 years. So I'm only interested in education positions. But, you all may choose different, check all that apply. You know, there's different industries here, but some of this stuff, you may be interested in hearing about, right? So check all things that apply, even things that are remotely interesting to you, because all it's going to do is just bring information to you that, might be, something you might want to go after. What kinds of jobs or job functions interest you? Again, I've done a lot of different things, but at this point, I'm either interested in administration or the teaching piece, training, that type of thing. I am no longer interested in recreation or fitness. I stopped coaching many years ago, so I'm not doing that. So again, check all things that apply to you, even if it's remotely interesting to you. You just want to hear about the opportunities, right? And then you want to get your expected graduation date correct on this. Now, I put January 2021 for a reason, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But I want to save my career interest. It's very important that you hit save, and then you see that everything's loaded up. Okay. Again, when you come to the dashboard, it'll start to adjust and bring things up there, but you don't have to wait for it to bring you opportunities, right? You can come right into jobs, and you can say, for instance, Aaron, do you mind me asking what your degree is in, what you're focused on?
Sure. I'm in my graduate program of strategic communications.
Okay, so I'm gonna play around with it. I'm gonna put in there communication, and then over 6,000 jobs and or internships related to the word communication came up. If I then go a little step further, and let's say I go strategic communication. Okay, now that made it 700, and I'm looking right down here where it says 757 jobs came up. Now, if I want to make sure I'm avoiding internships and part-time jobs, then yeah, you got to go ahead and filter. So for full-time jobs, it went to full-time jobs related to the term strategic communication, 491 positions came up. So now I don't have any internships in this list that I'm looking at here on the left side. I've got full-time jobs. I can open up the job itself. It'll be over here in the right-hand side, and I can learn everything I need to learn. Usually the salary is going to be there, the application deadline, when the job was posted. But again, usually if it's listed here, they're actively taking applications. When they stop taking applications, it'll come down. So keep that in mind. After I read about, the job description, the responsibilities, qualifications, and so on, when I'm ready to apply, because I've already got my resume loaded up here, right? Because I've finished my profile, I can come right in here and just apply for the job. And there you go. It's got I've loaded 2 different resumes up, but it'll load my resume up and it'll just run with it. You can attach your cover letter and go from there. If there's anything else you need to attach, it'll take you to the company's, job board so that you can get the rest of the information if there's more information for you to know about. Okay. Now, this says right here, James, your school year does not match what is requested for this job. If this information is incorrect, please update it here. Well, that's because I put in there that I haven't put anything. So I have to come in here to school year and I have to say where I'm at, right? So if I wanted to say, well, I'm working on my master's or my doctorate, I go ahead and put that in there, and there should be a save button. Yeah, save button there. Right. And so then let's see. All right. Let's see if I can. I'll probably have to refresh this page and then that'll go away that says I don't match. Or maybe I'm not matching for another reason. But anyway, sometimes you have to go in there and correct it when it brings things to your attention. So again, I brought up full-time jobs. Let's say I want to go to internships and take full-time jobs out of there. You know, there's the 220 internships came up, right? And it's important to get the school year when you're graduate, you know, where you are right now. For instance, earlier I put in the word education. Let's see if I can do that again. Education intern. And what it did was it brought up a place where if a student were interested in working with wildlife at a refuge, um, let's say I'm graduating in May of 2021. Well, this would be a job if I wasn't quite ready to go full time, but I wanted to get some like apprenticeship type of experience. This deadline comes up March 31st. The season role, when I would actually work, would be August 15th to February of 2022. So this fits because I graduate in May. It's not a full-time job. It's an internship. This is what I'm ready for. And now I can go work at a wildlife refuge. Now, so a lot of times it'll say unpaid or it'll say paid internship. Still investigate what they're offering because when you go to the information page for this one, when you stay at the refuge, there's free lodging, lodging, and then you get a $50 stipend for food where you eat on the premises, but they take care of your food and lodging as part of the deal. So just because it says unpaid when you look at internships doesn't mean that there's not some type of, benefit or support for you while you're, working at the site. So be sure to follow up on those types of opportunities. Any questions coming to mind yet that you want me to touch on? Granted, I can't see you, so just holler out.
Yeah, Aaron had a question regarding the .edu email to log in since it's required to enter Handshake. He was wondering if you could access the site after graduation.
Yes, alumni can access the site basically forever. Nobody's, I think they used to say, when I was working in the Academic Success and Career Center, I think they would say, oh, alumni can use it up to 3 to 5 years after they graduate. But WSU's not a stickler on that. So yes, alumni should be going back in here to get information. They should be circling back because you have access to it. And if there's any problems with an alum coming into this, just get a hold of me, somebody like me, and we can make that happen. So, and your WSU email should stay active forever unless you just absolutely never use it. Does that kind of help out? Did that answer your question?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Oh, okay, great. So I was trying to go through the little hidden tabs over here. I like to make sure students know about these things because once you start doing interviews or signing up to do an interview with an employer, or you've submitted an application, you can use these links to keep track of your applications that you've submitted. I haven't submitted any, so there's nothing there. Or if I have an interview coming up, I can keep track of it here. Again, I don't have any interviews coming up. And then if, let's just say I've worked for a certain employer before already or done an internship, I can help other WSU students by writing a review about that employer. But then also you as a student have access to it on the flip side. So I can click on students over here and I can look at students. Maybe I just want to look at alums, WSU alums, and maybe I'm interested in communication and media studies. And so I'll get a list of alums and what they're doing now. And maybe they're working for an employer that I'm interested in, right? Or maybe, it doesn't have to be a WSU student because a lot of universities have access to Handshake. So you can network with people at the undergraduate and graduate level and or professionals that, that you want to talk to, and ask them questions about their experience. Or sometimes I'll look at people's profiles just to see. Okay, I guess I got to join. I'll just try to see how they listed things about themselves. This person is not actively looking, so there's no personal statement. But again, if I look at undergrads, sometimes I can look and see, okay, how did they describe their experience, or how did they describe their education, or how did they describe their journey, right? I can use it for that also. Let's go over here to Q&A. Let's just say I have a specific question. Like this person says, what are some possible career paths for a theater acting major? And you put it out there to the whole student network, and maybe it's the alums that see it. You can, like I say, you can come in here and ask your own question, and start a dialogue with people that can help give you feedback. Let me come back over here. Let's go documents. And so this is a way for me to manage all the documents that I've uploaded. Again, employers can see it based on if I release that information. But right now I've only got resumes up there, no cover letter, transcript, or any other documents. But I could load other documents if I wanted to. You've got a notifications button. Again, this is going to keep you up to date with any, in this case, looks like some career fairs are coming up. You can keep track of what employers are coming in, any updates. That's what this is all about. But again, you can click on the events button and you can see what's just happening for this week. Well, Amazon's coming through. CNN, the Carson Career Spring Series is going down. So you've got a resume refresh workshop. You've got internship information. That's just for the week, but maybe I want to know what's happening for the month. I want to look ahead. So this is really just gives you the complete control to, in some cases, get your profile out there so people can see it, network with employers, see what events are coming up. And let's just say I want to sign up for this event with this particular company. I can read about it, find out when it is. But then all I got to do to sign up is hit the button right over here in the right-hand corner. And I am registered, right? So Handshake will keep me informed just so that I don't miss this date, even though it's tomorrow. But I'm registered for the event, and I'll be able to log in and, communicate remotely with whoever the employer representative is at this point. So in any case, again, I want to emphasize what's going on here in the profile area. I want to emphasize that, yes, you do. You need to set up your profile. And like I say, sometimes you need to work with a career coach to get things in order. You need to know how your profile is going to look to the employers. And like I say, a career coach can help with that, right? And then also you need to be able to understand what's happening on the dashboard. Let me go back to that. What information is coming in and why is it coming in? And if you don't load the data, then pretty much Handshake just can't work for you. So any questions of anything you'd like me to go in depth on, touch on or unpack a little bit?
So I'm wondering about the popularity of Handshake. How would you compare it to a LinkedIn or an Indeed? Is it on the same level of traffic, or are employers specific to Handshake, or how is it different from those other services?
Handshake is huge. It has hundreds upon hundreds. You see, I mean, whether it's, okay, I hate to just be cliches. Well, Amazon's on here, Google, this, that, yeah. Employers know that this is how you're going to reach college students. Handshake is the standalone leader for reaching undergrad and graduate students. LinkedIn, to me, is the world organizational chart. I mean, Microsoft owns LinkedIn, so LinkedIn is a little different. I love it. I use it in a different way, or I teach people to use it in a different way. But again, if you just want to apply for a position where you're not competing with people with 20 years experience, then that's Handshake. If you're just out there, I'm going for it, then again, I say use Indeed, use LinkedIn. But as far as the college network, employer college network tool, Handshake's number one. Like, I don't even know what's in the same category with Handshake. It's standalone. It's the monster. Why we haven't portrayed it that way to you yet, I don't know. And I apologize. I'll take the hit for the university. I don't know. But it's the monster. Was that kind of the direction, Aaron?
Absolutely. That gave me a lot more clarity. And
Okay.
I'm wondering, like, how viable is it going to be for me as an alum? Like, are jobs really centered towards college students that are either current or just out of college? Or should I be checking Handshake 5 years down the road, for example?
Oh, no, I would check it. It's going to pertain to you. And, the other piece is, I said I'd try to stay focused. But, in retrospect, you guys can see LinkedIn now. Yeah, my LinkedIn page.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say use this one, use that one. I'm like, if the employers are there, you got to be in that space. For instance, I can put right in the word communication, and before I'm even done, it's going to say, well, James, you want jobs, you want people, you want groups. So let's just say I start off with jobs. And then, of course, just like that, there's over 2 million jobs related to the word communication that come up on LinkedIn. But experience level, I can say, well, maybe I'm looking for entry level. And so just show me those jobs. So then now I've got the entry level jobs, and that's at 1 million. But maybe I want to continue maybe I'm thinking right now, what are some jobs where I can work remotely? Okay, that brought it down to 20,000 jobs related to the word communications. So, or communication. So, I personally, I would be using both back and forth, because there's opportunities listed in the Handshake that won't be in LinkedIn, and then there's vice versa. There's opportunities in LinkedIn that will not be listed in Handshake. It's just as simple as that. And LinkedIn has different filters. I can open up all the filters and really, go to town on this and really kind of craft it based on what I'm looking for. You got the location, you've got the industry key, you've got all that. When I go back here, though, another reason why I use LinkedIn, I guess I'm giving you guys a bonus piece of this, is that I'm gonna go back to communication. Let's just say I don't want to look at jobs. Let's just say I do want to look at people. And why do I want to look at people? Maybe I want to look and see what they're doing. Maybe I want to look at, how they set their LinkedIn site up. What pictures are they using? What statements are they making in their, their personal statement there? Let me see their educational background and the trajectory that they took based on the job that they're doing. So, you can use LinkedIn to research as well when you're exploring career paths that people have taken. But then also someone might be in a position that you want to aspire to do or be. And just like that, this is the VP for marketing communication. And let's just say I got a bunch of students that are undergrads, and I'm thinking of sending them out the way of Alcorn State. I could go ahead and follow this person, and any updates that he gives, I'll get them. Or I can go ahead and just straight out connect with them. What's the first thing he's going to do? He's going to go back to my page, and he's going to say, why is this guy James Bledsoe reaching out to me? He's going to see that I'm a career coach, and then he's probably going to accept. So that's how I built up my network. But the same is true. Let me get back to Handshake. You've got to use that profile page so that when you do connect with employers, they're coming back to see what you're all about and what you're looking for. So you want to use it strategically that way. If you're just looking for internships, then say that. If you're looking for full-time work and you're graduating in a few months, then you need to say that. But that's, the way I would go. If you're not going to be graduating for another few years, would I look for a full-time job? I'm gonna get back to maybe your question, Aaron. I would be looking for full-time jobs so that I can see what the qualifications are talking about. So that gives me a little time to build that into my profile. Maybe in the summers, I'm able to take part-time work based on the qualifications that I see the industry is looking for. So I just don't have the education. I also have the skill set that I'm building as well. But in order to know what the skill set that current employers are looking for, sometimes you got to start that process early and start searching the jobs early and just see what's in the qualifications. What are they asking for? And build that into your experience while you're still in school. When these employers list these jobs, these full-time jobs, they're expecting either your graduate, well, right now, since we're in basically the spring semester, they're assuming you're going to either graduate in May or this coming August. So that when you interview for these types of jobs, they're expecting you to start. The offer that they give you, if you get the job, is contingent on graduation. So it's not like you're interviewing and, okay, stop school and we want you to work for us right now. That's not what this is all about. And Aaron, I think that gets back a little bit to what you're asking. Again, these are, when they list these jobs here, even if they list them in the fall, they know that seniors or people who are about to graduate, even if if you're graduate level, are looking at these jobs. So I've seen people offer jobs in October, November to start in July, just because they went through Handshake and they interviewed with the employers that are coming through Handshake. Right. So that, again, another difference that with LinkedIn or Indeed, that's like, okay, you interview, you get the job, then it's time to go. It's time to start right now, regardless of where you are in the educational process. So that's kind of maybe another one of the differences between, I think, Handshake, LinkedIn, and Indeed. So, Peter, I just wanted to throw in there, I'd like to throw in there different topics just so that, you might data analytics, come in there with that. I know econ folks are all about the data in some instances. And so, again, sometimes you can use your educational background and maybe even some of your personal experience to go into an industry, so to speak. So you don't always have to put your program of study in here. You might put an industry in here to look up what comes out. I could put in, for instance, let me get a little more specific. I could put in human resources. Let's say I do want to work in human resources. You definitely have to spell it right. So 800 jobs came up. Let me get out of jobs and go with internships. Okay, if I want to go into human resources, I don't have any experience. I get an internship. Over 200 jobs came up. So again, you need to, just really get creative with how you use this search, because whether you put in a program of study or an occupation itself or a particular industry, a particular career field, Handshake will bring opportunities to your attention.